Hi everybody, I'm Bethany from Cranberryhorn, and welcome back to podcast number 2 from us this week. I'm going to be talking about a few things that have gone on this week. There's the big thing that everybody's talking about. I've had a few other things going on in my life this week. Some wins, some losses, and some not quite sure about yet. But stay tuned to hear about those. Hi everybody. As you can see, it may look a little bit better this week. The lighting's still not great, but I'm going to work on that. The first thing you'll notice is that it does look a little bit clearer, and that's because I got an iPad yesterday. My husband and I ventured out into the world yesterday. He needed a laptop, and I thought, I'm going to get an iPad because I've wanted one mostly for the capabilities of manipulating video. iMovie is probably one of the best ones, and I've used it in the past. I had an iTouch for years that I did some with, so I'm going to be using that again. So yeah, as you can see, the coloring's a little bit better. The lighting still sucks, but we're going to work on that. And but it's hopefully a step forward. So as I said, this is podcast number 2, and this has been a very long week. You cannot live anywhere in this world without having heard the C word this week, and it's bad. It is affecting everyone. There can't be a person on this world that has been touched by the media's coverage of that C word throughout the whole thing. My daughter works for a grocery chain that I actually worked for 17 years. And she's a produce manager for that store, and so she's having to deal with the crisis of people being in panic mode and going into the stores. And I can't say this enough, people. I urge you, if you have ever worked retail in your lives, please be nice to those people in the grocery store, because not only are they dealing with their own panic, but they're having to deal with yours as too. Sort of like the whole being on an airplane, putting on your mask and trying to save everybody else too at the same time. Same thing. So, she's dealing with people being upset over a lack of products, i.e. toilet paper, or hand sanitizer and all of that stuff that's going on, as well as them just not being able to keep product on the shelves. My husband was in there this morning and said that, there's not a bit of chicken or beef or anything to be found in there. And they are really good about keeping up on things. So it's just a matter of, we got to sit back, take this one day at a time, one breath at a time, frankly, and just relax and not panic. Because we've been given all of the tools to be able to make it through this. We just need to implement those tools. There have been a lot of excuse me, I'm not going to use that other word, that we have dealt with in the past. And, certainly the scare has been bad, but this is the first time we've seen it across the world. And I think, just knowing that we're not alone, that we are seeing other people in this state, is the really, really hard part about it. When we went out to get the laptops yesterday, we came back through, first we tried to go to Sam's Club and could not get near Sam's Club. It was crazy. And I said, I'm not going to fight that. I was looking for, of all things, gluten-free oats. So Bob's Red Mill gluten-free oats. If you are gluten-free, I highly recommend them. That is my go-to for breakfast. I eat gluten-free oats, almond milk, banana, and some peanut butter for protein. It gets me through every day. I'm telling you, that's one of the best things out there, and it's gluten-free. I even use the oats in my meatloaf if I need a filler, because it is gluten-free. It does have carbs, so if you have to think about, if you're keto, you want to be cutting down the carbs. I happen to be not doing keto, but just trying to lower my carbs, so I figure I'm okay with that. So as I was saying, we went out to get a laptop. Best Buy in Portland was nuts. And there were people waiting when the doors opened, and they were off and running when they got there. And we were looking for a laptop. Hubby's laptop has been in downward spiral for quite a while, so he needed a new one. And I happened to run into some people that work in there that I know, and we were talking about how many people were in there, and he said that they had large amounts of people coming in who were buying laptops for small businesses so that they could send them home with their employees, which I thought was interesting. My job would be the type of job that I could go and work from home. I work on the phones. Give me a little microphone, I'm all set. Give me on the phones, and I'd be all set. But obviously, not everybody's job can enable that. So, but it was interesting to see how many people were out there, how many people were in panic mode. A lot of their stock was gone, that they had sold through a lot of it. Other than that, most of the town it was a ghost town. We came back through Freeport, and if you've ever been to Freeport, Maine, you know that it's hard to walk down the street. Hard to drive down the street with people walking in the way. So on a typical Saturday, you're going to stop at every single crosswalk that goes down through there, because it's a shopping outlet mecca with the company that will not be named there. It's always busy. It's always busy. So we went into town yesterday specifically to stop and get some lunch. We went to DeRoche's. If you're in Freeport, Maine, and you want a good sandwich and it's not expensive, something that's not expensive, go to DeRoche's on Main Street and get yourself a Governor K. I'm not kidding you. And while you're there, indulge and get a chocolate chip cookie. They have the best chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, I broke my diet on that one. But it was worth it. It's totally worth it. So yeah, DeRoche's is just this little tiny place that's been there since forever. I don't know exactly how long it's been, but it's been a long, long time. And we used to eat there a lot when we lived in Freeport, so we're pretty familiar with it. But when we went into Freeport to go to DeRoche's, we found a parking space right on Main Street. We were able to get in and out, and it was like, wow, this is a little scary. There's space here, and there's nobody walking around. We went in and got our sandwich, and we were the only ones sitting in there eating lunch. And that was a little creepy, because usually it's packed. So people are for the most part, are taking the whole step back and put some social distance between yourself and everybody else. People are doing that. They're taking that to heart, and it's understandable. Why put yourself at risk if you don't have to do that? For those of you that don't know, I have a condition called Hashimoto's disease. It's a Hashimoto's thyroiditis disease. And it is one where your immune system will actually turn on the body itself, on your thyroid, and attack it because it considers it to be an enemy. It eventually destroys your thyroid, and of course your thyroid is your control panel pretty much for your body, as far as everything from how many vitamins you ingest to the temperature of your body. It really does control so much. It's right up there with the brain. Some days my brain is lacking and the thyroid is too, so it can be tough. But it also will help control how the brain processes. So anyways, I have this. It is an autoimmune disease. Everything that I have read so far, and I've read quite a bit, is I have a normal risk factor when it comes to the coronavirus. My husband has asthma, and I'm probably about the same level as he is. We're both, you know, in our 50s. We're at that point where we're at a higher risk because of age only. Like I said, he's got asthma, I've got this, but we're not taking unnecessary risks, but we're not hiding either. Both of us, he has to go to work on Monday, I have to go to work on Monday, so yeah, we're gonna, unless we see something that becomes more crucial, and then we'll reassess at that point and decide what we're going to do with that. In the meantime, my husband's trying to find a way to get through knowing that they've canceled NASCAR races. So it's a sad day in our house. Let's see, what else has been going on? Oh, my big win. Here's my big win for the week, by the way. This has been about 3 weeks in the works. I finished my Hokey Locatelli box tea this morning. I don't know if you can see this. It has not been washed or blocked yet, but it is done. I accomplished my first sweater, so I'm pretty thrilled with that. Did it turn out exactly the way I wanted it to? Nope, it didn't. I used my favorite blue yarn. The oatmeal that I had loved so much before in sweater form just feels kind of scratchy and yucky. So it will definitely be a sweater. I'll have to wear something else under it, long sleeve probably. But I had intended to do that anyways. It's such a boxy fit through it that I knew I'd be wearing like a tank top, or at the very least a tank top under it, so that, you know, I'm not hanging out or anything. But it's served its purpose. It's made so that I can pull it on and go running out the door, or if I'm sitting around home and I'm cold, I need to pull out my purple sweatshirt, I can put this on and go with it. It does leave me with a dilemma though, and that is what to do next. So I'm not sure what the next project's going to be. I really want to try a sock. The one time I tried a sock, it didn't turn out very well. It was a cottage sock and it was loose, and I was thinking, I'm never gonna wear this thing, and I couldn't keep gauge, and it was all over the place. I may try, I've got some Patton's Croy self-striping yarn, so I may try that just to see what I can come out with. Do myself a really simple one. Very Pink Knitting, I think, is on YouTube, and they have a ton of how to do sock videos. And Earth Tone Girl on podcast. Earth Tone Girl's on YouTube. She is running a whole series for free on YouTube about how to do socks, and she's taking it step by step by step, taking each piece and putting them all together. So that may be something that I try. The idea of doing a heel is a bit intimidating for me, so I'm not quite sure on that one. Who knows, maybe I'll even just go do some mittens or something, because those are always my fallback, are mittens. As far as other YouTube channels that I'm watching, let's see, what have I been hooked on lately? I just watched a really great one. I don't remember what her name was. Let's see if I can find this here. Hold on now. It's from Whippoorwill Hollow, and she was doing a citrus-infused salt to go on chicken and fish. It looked awesome. I love anything citrusy and involved. It's got sage and not sage. It had rosemary and thyme in with it. And that looked really good. And she said she even gives it as gifts. That looked really good. I've been watching a lot of RV shows as usual. Unfortunately, right now our plans are on hold because of the stock market issues. It may take us longer to get out there because of those, but it's still something that we're shooting for. You know, it may be that we go part-time for a while, or find another way to do it. You know, I always knew I was going to have to work. There's never an issue about that. But as far as hubby retiring, that could take a while. Let's see. What do I have for the week ahead? Well, like everybody else, I'm going to be watching the news. I'm probably going to be exhausted because of my new work schedule. So I'm taking today to try and get everything organized, all my lunches and everything all set, and figure out what I wear for clothes, that type of stuff. They had put me on Lisinopril, and she had said at the time, if you get a dry cough, let me know. Well, I happened to get a cold at that point. Then what I had was left over from the cold. Come to find out, it wasn't that. It was the Lisinopril. They have moved me off of that. So this is just like 1 or 2 times a day I get this little bit of tickle. Could very well be allergies too. But for the most part, that's what we're seeing. So, I guess that's it for this time. Stay tuned next time. I'll be telling you which project, hopefully, that I've picked. I've got some great stuff here. Oh. In my bag, I have this, which is a Karen Simply Soft yarn. And it is gorgeous. And it's in the color strawberry, which I'm not sure if it... not sure if you can tell. It just looks sort of obscene. But I think whatever I knit next is going to be doing with that one. I like the Simply Soft because it's a lighter weight yarn. And I think it'll make a nice spring sweater or vest to wear to work, something that I can do with that. Is it my color? Probably not, but I'm going to try it anyways. So for now, I just want to thank you all for coming along. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button down below. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd be glad to have you along for the ride. And as always, have a great week and blessings from Maine.